Hey guys, today I have a how to road trip video. I asked you guys on Instagram if this was something you wanted to see, and there was an overwhelming response for yes. So today I'm just going to share my tips and tricks, my experience on a 10-day road trip through 5 different states, including Oregon, Nevada, Utah, Arizona, and California. And then also some websites that I found really useful for planning this road trip. So without any further ado, I'm gonna grab my phone, and I just wrote some notes on here, so if you see me looking down, that's what I'm looking at. So the first thing that is necessary is to start planning at least 2 months out in advance, or maybe 3. Me and Taylor were both working over the summer, so we had to ask for these days off, which is necessary if you want to go on a road trip. So make sure you get the time off and make sure you're dedicated to planning a road trip, because you can't just like get up on a whim and really go without like bad things happening. So that's my first tip. The second tip is like what me and Taylor use to plan our road trip. I don't know how we found this, but it's called roadtrippers.com, and I'll insert a little screenshot of the website. You put in where you're going to be starting from and then what you kind of want your destination to be. So for me, our kind of end of the road trip stop was Sedona, Arizona. So I put that in there, and then I kind of filled in between there. So what you can do is you go to the map and you can start adding locations on the left hand side of the screen. And so we knew one of the locations we really wanted to go to was Bryce Canyon, so we put that on there. And then it also shows you like really great places around that area that will also be on like kind of near the road that you'll be going through. And so it ends up just like building together, and it's really great because at the top it tells you how many miles you'll be going, how much you'll have to spend on gas, how many hours it will take, that sort of thing. And you can also look at campsites around and just any kind of outdoor experiences and the attractions and everything like that. And so you just keep on going through and adding all the places you want to go to, and you can switch on or off if you decide you don't want to go there if it makes your road trip too long. So yeah, roadtrippers.com was literally our lifesaver. Me and Taylor spent so many days like in coffee shops just going through and figuring out where we wanted to go. In order to get inspiration for our road trip, we obviously were collecting ideas for many months before on Instagram, like just saving it to our saved photos and stuff like that. Okay, so then the next thing you want to do before your road trip is to get your car maintenance, because you don't want any car troubles on the road. So for me, I actually ended up borrowing my mom's like newer Subaru because I just thought it was more reliable. So if you have a parent or somebody that wants to lend you their car, that might just be better for off-roading and stuff. Make sure you ask them. So we did that. And then also make sure you, after you get all the locations down, you want to start making an itinerary. This was like the funnest part for me for some reason. But yeah, so just making it like an hourly itinerary for every day, like when you're gonna leave, when you're gonna stop to eat lunch, when you think you might need to get gas, just so like you're not driving in the dark and you know exactly how your schedule's gonna be. Next, you're gonna want to start a packing list. You can just search this online, like road trip packing lists, and it'll come up with like a lot of good things. But some things that me and Taylor forgot to bring that we think are necessary is a tarp, because on our first day we literally got caught in a like storm, a rainstorm, and as we were on our way we're like, shit, we forgot a tarp. So luckily the only day it rained was at our first night. Oh my god, my cat just scared the shit out of me. Come here. Say hi. Oh my god. Okay, so Cosmo's gonna chill with me while we talk about this. But anyways, so yeah, we forgot a tarp, and thank God we got lucky and there was a covering, and we just set up our tent underneath of it. But okay, you're gonna go. Okay, so the next thing that you're gonna need to do is take all your equipment and set it up. So for example, your tent, that's the most important. Make sure you set it up, you know how to set it up, make sure it's fully functional, which I did, and I didn't notice that one of the holes to put the tent pole in was ripping. So that brings me to my next point, which is bring electrical tape, because electrical tape saved our lives like way too many times, and if it wasn't for that, we weren't gonna have a place to sleep. So yeah, make sure you bring that. Another thing is bring a separate bag to put dirty clothes in. We didn't do that, and especially if you're going on like a 2-week road trip and you're just putting, like, mixing in your dirty clothes with your clean clothes, it's just gonna end up making them all smell. So make sure you bring that. And then also, a lot of campsites have a place to wash dishes, but for the days that there isn't, you might want to bring a bucket and just like some dish soap so you can wash your extra dishes that are dirty when you can't clean them at the campsites. A car garbage is necessary, so you don't want like trash to end up all throughout your car, so make sure you just have like a small like garbage that you can put in your car. It could just be like a paper sack or something. And then also make sure you bring like jugs of water. I think we brought like 3-gallon like jugs of water. We had like 2 of them in the back of our car, and it really saved us because some spots that you go to don't have potable water, so make sure you stock up on that. And then also we had an ice chest and we put ice in it, and we forgot that it would melt, and so make sure after the ice melts you dump it out, because it'll make everything smell so bad, which we learned the hard way, and make some of your perishable items not good to eat anymore, so make sure you do that. Also, face and body wipes are a must, because like I said, there's not always water everywhere you go, and so when you're feeling really dirty, you can just use like a body or face wipe and wipe yourself down. And also, like, we cleaned the inside of our car out with them when it got really dirty, so they are a lifesaver. The next thing that's really important to bring is podcasts and music. Like, make a playlist and download some podcasts for when you don't have service. So some really good podcasts that I would recommend are Sounds Good with Brandon Harvey. He's really funny. He always has guests on his podcasts that talk about like kind of their life stories, and they're like pretty inspirational, but he's also hilarious, so it's not anything like too serious. And then also we listen to Tarot for the Wild Soul with Lindsay Mack. She has a really great podcast which starts like before the beginning of each month, and she draws a tarot card and what that means for the month that's coming up, and we found them like really like spot on, so we liked listening to those. Another good one is From the Heart, Conversations with Yoga Girl. She's on Instagram, so I've been following her for forever, and we love her podcast. She's just like so real and down to earth and witty. The next thing you want to bring is disposable cameras, and like not your real camera. I brought my real camera because I wanted to document and take photos, but disposable cameras are like the best because they're cheap. You can just throw them in your bag and then you just take a snap, and they don't take away from your experience, because sometimes with a big camera it really like takes you away from like what's actually going on, and you're just kind of living behind your camera. So disposable cameras are really good. Also bring like one really good book. Space is like necessary when you're on a road trip. Like with me and Taylor, we ended up like packing up the rest of our car with stuff. So you really have to be selective with what you're bringing and making sure that like the most important things are at the top of your list. So one good book is good because you'll have time to read, but you won't have as much time to read as you think you do. So that is one of my tips. And then also bring a journal. A really fun thing that me and Taylor did every day was at the end of the day, we would just write down what happened in like just a few words, or this video is probably so long already. Ooh, okay, so, and then another really important thing is obviously you have your phone to GPS, but sometimes you'll lose service and for some reason you might lose your GPS. So make sure you print out directions from each location that you're going to, because we found that really useful, and it saved us from like ever being really stressed out if we didn't know where we were going. So for us, how we found places to stay were we kind of just searched campgrounds like near the places we knew we wanted to stay, like the national monuments and stuff, and you can just read reviews and reviews on what's best and make sure it's open, because you might go during the season that it's not open, so just make sure it's open. Another really cool site that we found was Hip Camp, which is basically an Airbnb for campsites. So I'll put also another screenshot. But Hip Camp is basically Airbnb. You put in your location and then all of the places around it pop up and it shows you reviews, like all the amenities it includes, like really great photos. We found this really cute place that was a commune actually, and it was on a farm, and we got to chase the pigs and the goats down like for dinner, and then we slept in a tree house. So we really recommend Hip Camp. We had a great experience with it. And then if you guys don't know what Airbnb is, that's also a really great website. It's basically people who are hosting their homes for you to stay in, and it's really safe, and I'll also show the screenshot of it. But if you guys click my link below, it'll give you $40 off your first booking. So if you guys are interested in that, go ahead and check the link out. I've stayed in Airbnb like when I was in Australia by myself, and in Joshua Tree, and just like so many other places, so it's definitely legit. So yeah, I mean, basically that's all of my tips and tricks for going on a road trip. If you guys haven't seen my road trip video, I'll link it down below as well. But yeah, also let me know if you guys have any more questions or anything else you would like me to cover. But yeah, so that's the video for how to road trip. I hope you guys found this useful, and let me know what you guys think in the comments below. But anyways, I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you later.